Welcome back to the final part of our tale. Let's dive right in. Why do you not have gold? He asked me. His arm hung limply at his side. There was no gold there for such as I said. He threw himself forward, then ran at me and kicked at me. My awl blade went flying from my hand. I threw my arms around his leg, and I held on to him as together we tumbled off the mountainside. His head was above me, and I saw triumph in it, and then I saw sky, and then the valley floor was above me, and I was rising to meet it, and then it was below me, and I was falling to my death. A jar and a bump, and now we were turning over and over on the side of the mountain, the world a dizzying whirligig of rock and pain and sky, and I knew I was a dead man, but still I clung to the leg of Callum McKinney's. I saw a golden eagle in flight, but below me or above me I could no longer say. It was there, in the dawn sky, in the shattered fragments of time and perception, there in the pain. I was not afraid. There was no time and no space to be afraid in, no space in my mind, and no space in my heart. I was falling through the sky, holding tightly to the leg of a man who was trying to kill me. We were crashing into rocks, scraping and bruising, and then we stopped. Stopped with force enough that I felt myself jarred, and was almost thrown off Callum McKinn and to my death beneath. The side of the mountain had crumbled, there, long ago, sheared off, leaving a sheet of blank rock, as smooth and as featureless as glass. But that was below us. Where we were, there was a ledge, and on the ledge there was a miracle, stunted and twisted, high above the tree line, where no trees have any right to grow, was a twisted hawthorn tree, not much larger than a bush, although it was old. Its roots grew into the side of the mountain, and it was this hawthorn that had caught us in its gray arms. I let go of the leg, clambered off Callum McInnes's body, and onto the side of the mountain. I stood on the narrow ledge and looked down at the sheer drop. There was no way down from here, no way down at all. I looked up. It might be possible, I thought, climbing slowly, with fortune on my side, to make it up that mountain, if it did not rain, if the wind was not too hungry. And what choice did I have? The only alternative was death. A voice. So, will you leave me here to die, dwarf? I said nothing. I had nothing to say. His eyes were open. He said, I cannot move my right arm, since you stabbed it. I think I broke a leg in the fall. I cannot climb with you. I said, I may succeed, or I may fail. You'll make it. I've seen you climb. After you rescued me, I crossed that waterfall. You went up those rocks like a squirrel going up a tree. I did not have his confidence in my climbing abilities. He said, swear to me by all you hold holy. Swear by your king, who waits over the sea as he has since we drove his subjects from this land. Swear by the things you creatures hold dear. Swear by shadows and eagle feathers, and by silence. Swear that you will come back for me. You know what I am? I said. I know nothing, he said. Only that I want to live, I thought. I swear by these things, I told him. By shadows and by eagle feathers and by silence. I swear by green hills and standing stones. I will come back. I would have killed you, said the man in the hawthorn bush. And he said it with humor, as if it was the biggest joke that ever one man had told another. I had planned to kill you and take the gold back as my own. I know. His hair framed his face like a wolf-gray halo. There was red blood on his cheek where he had scraped it in the fall. You could come back with ropes, he said. My rope is still up there, by the cave mouth, but you'd need more than that. Yes, I said, I will come back with ropes. I looked up at the rock above us, examined it as best I could. Sometimes good eyes mean the difference between life and death, if you are a climber. I saw where I would need to be as I went, the shape of my journey up the face of the mountain. I thought I could see the ledge outside the cave, from which we had fallen as we fought. I would head for there. Yes. I blew on my hands to dry the sweat before I began to climb. I will come back for you, I said. With ropes. I have sworn. When? He asked, and he closed his eyes. In a year, I told him. I will come here in a year. I began to climb. The man's cries followed me as I stepped and crawled and squeezed and hauled myself up the side of that mountain, mingling with the cries of the great raptors. And they followed me back from the Misty Isle, with nothing to show for my pains and my time, and I will hear him screaming at the edge of my mind as I fall asleep or in the moments before I wake until I die. It did not rain, and the wind gusted and plucked at me, but did not throw me down. I climbed, and I climbed in safety. When I reached the ledge, the cave entrance seemed like a darker shadow in the noonday sun. I turned from it, turned my back on the mountain, and from the shadows that were already gathering in the cracks and the crevices and deep inside my skull, and I began my slow journey away from the Misty Isle. There were 100 roads and 1,000 paths that would take me back to my home in the lowlands, where my wife would be waiting. And so, our tale comes to an end. A tale of gold and shadows, of promises and betrayals, of a dwarf and a man named Callum McKinn. A tale of a journey and a pledge to return. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, may your own stories be just as adventurous and full of life.